The First Methodist Church has been the most meaningful church that I have ever belonged to in my life. I grew up Southern Baptist, and I then went to a Southern Baptist college, Wake Forest. I was drafted when I was about 20 years old to the United States Army, and I was the gunner and radio operator. General George Patton at that time was a 3-star general, and of course he was the commanding general in the Third Army, and I was a part of that. I was on the tank, and Patton came to visit. He gave him a salute, and he returned it. And he said, "Where are you from, trooper?" And I said, "I'm from Maiden, North Carolina, back in the United States." And sir, he said, "Well, be at ease." So I tried to be at ease.
I'm Hazel Parsons. I'm 95 years old. As a child, Mr. George Ivy, he would always come with candy in his pocket, and he was known as the Candy Man. Well, we couldn't wait to get there, to get the candy from him. My father didn't have any trouble getting me up on Sunday morning.
Been a member of the church my entire life. I joined the church when I was 16 years old. Back at those days, the housewives would go visit the preacher's wife. That was one of the standards of the etiquette in the church. My mother started bringing me to church when she could guarantee I would sit still and behave myself. This was in preschool years when I would sit in church and it'd be so boring through the long sermon. I would count the pipes. This is in the old church that was up there on the railroad track. Count the pipes in the organ. I would count the panes in the window. I would count the lights in the chandelier and the arches in the ceiling. I counted everything in the church. When the new parsonage was built down on 3rd Avenue, that was the Sunday school building. Then we needed some extra room, and they built what they called was the hut. It was a crude building. They had Sunday school classes in there. Burlap curtains separated the Sunday school classes. Now, you can imagine the bedlam in that with all that many Sunday school classes going on, burlap curtains. And then when the George Ivy Sunday School building, which is now the Elks Club, was built, then they tore that down. And actually, when they took the roof off, the thing collapsed. It was so poorly built. And that's what we had, fire trap. And it was heated by a stove in the middle of the, goes back a long time. Growing up in the church with the Epworth League, when I was growing up in the church, and we just had lots of interesting programs and interesting meetings, and then a lot of social experiences. And then, of course, I've been a circle member. I was a leader of the Cub Scout troop, and I had happy members of that. And my circle work, my Sunday school work, and just all the other work. So I've got lots and lots and lots of happy memories. Being affiliated with the church and under the influence of what the church had to offer, I feel like that it has made such a difference in my life, in my relationship with God.
Well, it's our whole life. When we first came to First Methodist, we were the young adults. And as we got older, we had to change our names to stay in the classroom. We are the adult fellowship class now. We have a beautiful church, and I think that we're doing great. We have a new service now, The Vine, and I went there the first Sunday. I spend more time at the church than anywhere else in Hickory. I have a lot of memories there.
Joined the church in 1952. Well, I grew up in Catawba County, down in the lower end of it, which is now Lake Norman. Fact is, half of the farm I grew up on is underwater at Lake Norman. I've had an interesting life, and I'm most blessed. When I grew up, I went to college, Gardner-Webb College, and was able to play baseball there for 2 years and have a good career, and followed that up at Lenore College and played baseball there also. And then after college, I signed professionally with Lincoln Cardinals and then Charlotte Hornets, and played with Chattanooga, Tennessee, and a little bit with Washington, D.C., the Senators back then. Nice memories I have really is of seeing the lives of all of our children grow up in the church, because we were an integral part of the church. I have 17 grandchildren, including great-grandchildren, and believe me, that's a lot of birthdays. We've been blessed. We're always been a pretty large church since I've been involved, and we drew some of the better ministers in the whole conference, and that still continues today. I think we're at a crossroads in our church, and this new emphasis we have on attracting the youth that have sort of left us is a big part of it. I think it will work out to everybody's benefit, because we need to keep our young people involved in the church and in our community. Taking part in the church in about any level you want to think about, from Boy Scout leaders, Cub Scout leaders, to chairman of the finance committee, to the official board, and I was a delegate to the conference for 36 years straight. The church has been right involved with everything that we've ever done as a family.